Hi everyone, welcome back to my channel. If you're new here, my name is Stefan, and today I'm going to share with you 6 ways that you can clear blocked and stagnant energy in your body. Because these zones that have these accumulated energies, whether they're emotional, whether it's physical pain, or organs or systems that aren't working as efficiently as they could, when you can finally heal this zone, clear these energies and move them out of your body, it's tremendously useful for your health and wellness. It can be even transformative for your health and wellness and for your life, depending on how severe these blockages are. And there's 6 different ways to help locating these zones, feeling into them, and then breaking them apart in a safe, efficient manner. And you can combine these 6 different methods together to increase their effectiveness, and actually they work better together in many ways. So we'll go into that. We'll go into the different elements of these 6 different methods, because that's one easy way to kind of understand and conceptualize of these different wellness practices. And at the end of that, I'll talk about how the digestive system is an integral part of all of this. So a lot to discuss in this video. But let's just start with an overview of kind of what's important when it comes to locating and feeling these areas of stuck and blocked and stagnant energy. Now, these energies can accumulate because you have an injury. Let's say you physically got injured somewhere and that created some inflammation, a zone, a packet of inflammation. Perhaps there was some trauma from your life, your past, whether childhood or later in life, that then found a spot to accumulate in your body. There's evidence that shows that emotions actually are kind of mapped across the body. We feel emotions in different parts of our body, and then they also kind of stay in certain parts of our body. You can feel love with like your heart. Of course, your reproductive organs are a very clear sign of where certain feelings and emotions send energy to. The thing that governs all this in many ways is the interoceptive system. It's the receptive part of our ability to feel. 80% feeling ability is interoceptive. There's a tremendous amount of nerve endings of various types, most of them free afferent nerves. So nerves that then just kind of terminate out like this, that are responsible for you to actually feel something. And so the main way that you can work with these energies, first to find these stagnant energies, and then to work to move them out of your body, is actually to improve your interoception. And the main way to do this is to actually get physical, is to manipulate and move your physical body. Because when you go into certain postures or positions, that's often a way that these pain points, these stress points get highlighted. I mean, there's tons of examples. A good one, for example, is you get like this big bodybuilder and then he goes to pick something up at the wrong angle. It's like his little daughter's plush, soft animal toy or something. And then all of a sudden he tweaks his back. This guy can deadlift or squat, hundreds and hundreds of pounds or kilos, but he goes just at the wrong angle and then all of a sudden tweaks his back. So we've all, I think, have experienced something like that at various times. And if you have any sort of lingering issues in your body, pain points, then a practice like yoga, which could be step number 1, is very useful in identifying these zones. Because with a good yoga practice, if you go through all the different asanas and postures, you'll basically be brought into contact with every single part of your body, all the way from your toes to your fingers, your head, and everything in between. I mean, during Shavasana, for example, at the end, corpse pose, you're laying down, you're resting, you may be guided by the instructor to relax your face. You may be surprised by how much tension that you hold in your face. I remember the first time I had that experience, like, oh my God, I've been holding this tension in my face for years. And then when I finally felt it melt away, it was a tremendous release of energy. Some people will even have that experience and it brings them to tears because it releases some sort of emotional current that was stuck inside of them. So yoga, step 1, that's the primary base way to start to like locate and feel these areas, and to do it in a very gentle way. And it's also a very effective practice for then working and kind of like applying mechanical, very gentle but still mechanical tension to those areas to stimulate electric currents to flow out from the connective tissues to break up that energy and then to bring new energy in during, let's say, like Shavasana. Step number 2 goes great with yoga, and that would be earthing. Right now I'm outside, I'm actually barefoot doing this video, so I'm earthing right now myself. Earthing is putting yourself in conductive contact with the earth, and that allows energies from the earth to be shared with you, and for your energies to be shared with the earth, and for there to be an equalization process, a normalization process. Earthing has been shown to normalize your circadian rhythm. It improves your endocrine function. It helps to potentiate dreams, which is a sign that is reducing the bioelectric noise in your body and therefore improving your mental capability. So there's a whole bunch of things that earthing, anecdotally we know is good for, and that there's more and more science coming out on. And by putting yourself in conductive contact with the earth, by actually going outside, that's the best way to practice earthing. You can facilitate this flow of energy and information with the earth. And so if you're doing something like yoga and you're highlighting, you're finding these zones and you're starting to apply some mechanical tension to break them up, or at least just, kind of squeeze and release them. Think of like a sponge. You squeeze a sponge, the water comes out. Same thing. Earthing then is your energy source that replenishes it. And in an environment like this, where it's so nice and peaceful, you're getting good, clean, natural energies to come back in. And nature bathing has a ton of proven health benefits. If you really need to look at the science, you can do that. A ton of studies out of Japan in terms of the mental health benefits and the physical benefits of, let's say, even just going to nature, just nature bathing. So we don't have to go into earthing to show this, but there's also clear science showing how the human body connects to different geophysical rhythms. And I'm a geophysicist. I went to school for geology, went into the workforce as a geophysicist before kind of pivoting over to YouTube. So I've been able to read these studies from a scientific perspective, but then also from my health and wellness background. Number 3 way you can do this also is a type of earthing, and that's to go swimming. It's a very grounding thing to do. And that helps to release some of these energies as well, because now you're starting to play with thermodynamics. So energy is heat, right? The sun is very, very hot. In the middle of the sun, it's millions and millions of degrees, we estimate. And then, of course, we have our body temperature of 98.6. And so if you go into a cold body of water, for example, you go swimming in a lake, the ocean, river, whatever. Like I just went swimming in the Dnipro here in Kyiv. Really, really nice water, perfect temperature. That establishes a thermal flow, which is energy. So if you're swimming, you're physically moving your body. That's helping you to feel these zones and to kind of manipulate them enough to have them flow some energy out. Swimming is an excellent full body activity, and it also requires a lot of oxygen, which is a critical component of all of this. So deep breathing, that could even be like method number 7, is like deep breathing or breath work. Very, very powerful way for tapping into these zones and releasing them in a safe, effective manner. And then swimming is also very grounding. You see how these things combine. Another method that you can use would be to use a sauna. So again, temperature immersion, but on the other side, generally swimming is cold water. Polar plunges are excellent. And then the sauna is really, heat. So we have fire element. Swimming was water element, and then earthing and yoga are both earth element because they're very physical. So sauna is a fire element, and it's helping you to actually release these energies. Like you're actually really pushing water out of your body. Water contains a tremendous amount of energy and information. I have a video on that, which you can watch here, go into depth on the quantum dynamics of water. And so when you are in a sauna, you can also stretch, which is effectively yoga, right? You could stretch. It's grounding in a different way, activates these heat shock proteins, which are anti-inflammatory, which can help you if you just, let's say, have an injury, or let's say you have some part of your body, an organ, whatever, that's not functioning optimally, then heat therapy perhaps will help you remedy that problem through the generation of heat shock proteins, which are anti-inflammatory. And then there's also cold shock proteins from cold immersion. So the two work really well together to alternate from one to the other. And then you also have methods like visualization and meditation. And this is more air element. And I'll talk about why I prefer more like earth element methods in just a little bit. But if you have a powerful ability to visualize and you know where this energy is, then the human mind is an incredibly powerful tool, and you can use that to visualize, let's say, different orbs of light, or just any metaphor that you need to come up with to locate that energy and to like break it up. You can like visualize yourself with a sledgehammer slamming on and breaking a slab of concrete, for example. Maybe this has been a very hard, dense energy, but you can give yourself the metaphor that it's brittle as a result. And with your sledgehammer, boom, you smash it up. And maybe that actually helps to release that energy. Visualization is incredibly powerful. Just a couple days ago, I've been working on my muscle ups, and I was failing, and then I visualized myself doing the rep perfectly, and here's the video. You can see me do the muscle up rep, and I got it. So that's just an example of exercise, but visualization, there's tons and tons and tons of science behind that. And there's also thousands of years of spiritual teachings with visualization. So you can look at it from both angles. Incredibly useful tool to learn, and I would recommend that you improve your ability to focus and sharpen your mind and visualize, because that's a very fast and effective way often to break these energies up. It can be very, very useful for that. And the sixth method for doing this would just be having like a good, healthy diet. And I know everyone talks about this a lot, but for example, the gallbladder, if you're eating a lot of sugar and you're not producing enough bile, then that can actually manifest pain on your back near where the gallbladder is, and specifically where you have a nerve running down your back. So this can be a energy zone between like your right shoulder blade, but it's actually your diet that's causing this issue. So if you work on your diet, make sure you have a healthy balance of macronutrients. You're getting good, fresh food. You're eating a good amount of raw food. How much depends on you, but if you're eating raw food, make sure that it is free of pesticides and all these different additives that they add on. So you don't want to be eating things that have tons of chemicals you can't pronounce. For the most part, keep it simple. Buy an apple at the grocery store, buy some tomatoes, buy some potatoes, fruit, berries, whatever. Fresh veggies are great. Things, if you are a meat eater, things like wild fish are excellent, contain a bunch of good, healthy fats in them, in addition to a bunch of other beneficial micronutrients. And then there's other things you can eat too. Don't underestimate mushrooms, folks. But when you have your diet in balance, that really is a very, very powerful tool for cleansing yourself of these energies, because often, whether it's a past injury or whether it's some like stuck, stagnant emotions, whatever it is, it manifests as inflammation. So there's many different routes to be inflamed, but at the end of the day, usually these areas are inflamed. And typically, it's actually not that much work to find them. Typically, you know where you have these zones that are stagnant and stuck. Sometimes they're a little more hidden, but in general, it's generally fairly obvious because they cause pain and they're inflamed. And one of the best ways to reduce inflammation, in addition to things like grounding and yoga and sauna and cold immersion, like I've talked about, is to have a good diet. So if you eat healthy foods and you also practice fasting, which is totally removing food from your diet, giving your digestive system a break, then that's really, really powerful too for reducing inflammation and for helping some of these energies to disperse. Because, for example, let's say you have a hot spot zone like in your shoulder, constantly inflamed. Eating is anabolic. When you eat, it's anabolic. It creates inflammation. So if you have a fast, for example, that would maybe then finally give it time to disperse out, because normally you're pulsing food and therefore inflammation to this area, but you take a 24-hour, 48, 72-hour fast, that finally allows some of this to dissipate. And that's when you practice and incorporate these other things too, like earthing. So these things, these energies and information can flow out from your body easier. Do some yoga while you're at it. For example, a really, really, really good thing that you could do would be to go to the beach, whether this is a lake, the river, the ocean. Go to the beach, swim around, and do some yoga while you're there. Do some stretching. Just move your body a little bit. And now you're getting 1, 2, 3 and then you add in some deep breathing while you're sunbathing, perhaps, and you add in some visualization while you're sunbathing, and you also make sure you're eating good food. You bring out the watermelon, and you eat the watermelon while you're there. How can you go wrong? I mean, that is literally how you do it. And so, visualization is a very air element way of taking these energies. It's very quick and fast. If you have a powerful ability to visualize, it is probably the most powerful way to do this. But in general, most of these are earth element. Your diet is earth element. Yoga is earth element. Grounding is earth element. Swimming is water and earth element. Sauna is fire element. But the reason why I prefer the earth elements for those, that metaphor, for kind of helping you to process these energies and these emotions safely out of your body and to remove these stuck and stagnant energies, is because if you can establish a consistent wellness practice and make it a habit, then it becomes fairly unconscious. It's just something that you do. You don't have to apply a tremendous amount of mental effort to it. And it's also a regular thing. I mean, you can have a regular meditative practice and visualization and all these things. I recommend that you do. I know I do. But if you incorporate these health and wellness practices, not only do they make you healthier and more physically fit, improve your longevity, but they also will, at the same time, in the background, process this for you. So it's a very slow and simple way, but over time, it's probably the most effective way to do this. We all know the story of the turtle and the hare, and who won? It was the turtle. So, slow and steady wins the race when it comes to a lot of things in life. And I think this also applies to this principle too, because these energies can take years to really get locked in there. And so as a result, it can really take some time to get them out. And one visualization practice might not do it. One sauna trip might not do it. But if you do these things consistently, then you're sure to be successful. One last bonus for you that is tremendously useful as well, it's also earth element, is massage. Getting actual like a deep tissue massage, or other things, there's light tissue as well, but really deep tissue can help you break up these energies. But I think massage is paired best when you also are doing things like yoga and earthing, because massage is someone else pushing into you. And you have to be mindful what their energy is, because now if they're breaking up your stagnant energy, but they have their own energetic aura, you have to just be very mindful of that. What energies are they carrying on to? They may have a wonderful aura, and therefore it's a tremendously helpful healing practice. But in general, if someone's doing massage, it's then good to mobilize afterwards. It's also good to mobilize before massage. And then earthing also helps to keep the whole thing kind of balanced, centered, and grounded. So massage is also very useful. And all these practices, earthing, massage, grounding, swimming, they're all very good for your digestive system. I'm recording this video on August 20th, and we have Virgo season coming up. I'm a Virgo, and so there's a reason why I like all these earth element things. There's a reason I like geophysics, Schumann resonances. And during Virgo season, it's especially useful to be mindful of your gut health, because Virgo rules over the gut. And it's no surprise then that I wrote a book on gut health, the Holistic Gut Health Guide. It's 88 pages that goes in depth on all the different ways that you can holistically improve, radically improve your gut health. I wrote this book because for my entire childhood, all the way up until my early 20s, I had terrible gut health problems. And then from about 20 to 30, this 10-year process, I worked on improving my gut health to the point where now I have really, really good gut health. So it took a lot of self-experimentation. I read a ton of research papers, but really it was just applying these practices to myself, and then recording the changes in the notes and being a good N=1 scientist that helped me to put everything together. And then in the Holistic Gut Health Guide, I take all these different things like fasting and what to eat, and infusing your food with energy and things of that nature, really expand on the microbiome and bring them all together into one comprehensive package. So I hope you are interested in that. I would highly recommend that you look into it. You can actually get the 4th chapter on the microbiome for free. And another reason why that this is important, whether you buy the book or not, to be mindful of this, is because the microbiome has a huge influence over our energy and over our consciousness. It's the second brain. The gut-brain axis is very, very active. There's 4 different pathways, that we can clearly identify that connect the gut to the brain. The vagus nerve is like the big main information channel. So when it comes to these wellness practices, you're really relying on, in many ways, your gut instincts. If you really want to truly be healthy in life and not be reliant on doctors and outdated medical advice, it's always 20 years behind the ball, then you really have to tune into your interoceptive system, your innate internal intelligence. And the microbiome is a huge component of that. You have gut instincts. Okay, I have a gut feeling about this. So by improving your diet, for example, you can modulate and change your microbiome in a beneficial way, and that can help you with your mental health, help you with your focus and your visualization. So you can see how all these things combine together in a really nice, beautiful, synergistic way. So I hope you look into the Holistic Gut Health Guide. I hope you find value in that. I hope you found value in this video. If you like the video, click the thumbs up button. It really helps this channel grow. Subscribe to see more videos like this. I also talk about geophysics, space weather, Schumann resonances, energy fields. So there's a lot more on my channel that we could talk about. Also water and the information of water. A big aspect to all this is water, because water is the main component of our body, and water is what holds on to this energy and this information. So I suggest that you watch these videos here on water, and I hope you have a great day. See you in the next video. Ciao.